Hello, paper crafters! It's Jackie Ballheis from Confidence Stampers. I'm so excited about today's project. I am going to share 4 different cards with you. They're fun folds or shape cards. I call them all fun folds, but 2 of them are shaped cards, I guess. 2 of them are fun folds, but we are using the Everyday Arches, I think it's called. Everyday Arches dies. I've had these for a while and I've had ideas in my head, and I finally sat down and put them to paper, and I am in love with these dies. And I'm not done yet. I have like 4 more ideas, so we'll have to do a follow-up video to this. So make sure you watch the whole video to catch all 4 card layouts that I'm going to share with you today. And if you have these dies already, hopefully it'll give you new ideas. And if not, you're going to fall in love with them, I promise. And they're all quick and easy because you know me, we don't do anything hard, right? So let's go ahead, flip the camera down, and let's get to work. We got 4 cards to make today. I am so excited to share these projects because I had so much fun making them. And this is going to be a little bit different because I already have my images stamped and colored, but I want to share the 4 cards with you because they're fun folds or shape cards, but there's 4 different ones that we're going to make featuring the Everyday Arches stamp set with the Everyday Arches dies. I'm in love with these. I can't believe it took me so long to create with them. And then our main focal image will be some of the flowers, I shouldn't say some, but the flowers from the mixed florals. Now, all of these products have been around for a little bit. At the time I filmed this, they're still around. That's always my fear with online products, but hopefully they're still available because if you don't have these, you want them. And if you've already bought these dies, I hope you like these ideas for something a little bit different to do with them. So let's dive into our first card. Like I said, I got 4 of them to share with you today. Now, as I mentioned, I've done a lot of the work already, so we're going to talk through and put them together. Now, so our first one here, what I did is I used the arches to cut out my card base so it will open like that. Just something a little different, still stands like a card, but it's kind of fun having that arch on there. Now, what I did is I took a regular card, okay, we're already folded in half, 8.5 by 5.5, and then I took this die and I set it, and it's like it just catches right there on the fold. So this part of it's over the fold. I did use, before I ran it through my cut and emboss machine, what I did is I lined it up. Okay, it kind of grabbed right there. Hope come down far enough. And then I just used a Post-it note to hold it in place. Ran it through the cut and emboss machine, and now this is what we have. So for this one, we're going to put it together. The cards are going to build. The first one start out much simpler. Now, the cool thing about these dies is there's so many different sizes, and they all just nestle together and fit together really nice. So for this one, I didn't die cut the flowers, so I just stamped them, colored them with my Stampin Blends, and then I like the small little arch as well. Perfect for 2 of the different greetings in that stamp set fit in it. And we're going to go ahead and just stick that right there. Now, all the images, I did color them with my Stampin Blends. You can see I have a whole pile of them sitting here. So I love to color with Stampin Blends. They're my go-to method of coloring. If you have never colored with them, they work so wonderful. I have a couple videos that just really focus on quick and easy tips for coloring with them. So go ahead, leave us a comment. We can share a video with you if you'd like. But like I said, we're starting out super simple. So there's our card. How adorable is that? You know, it's really fun. You could layer more of those arches, but it's just a great way to get another shape to your card. Now, card number 2, we essentially did the same thing. With this one, I took, and I think it was the same size die, and when I cut it out, this was a 4.25 by 11, did the same thing. So now we have a card that opens that way. And then I started playing with this greeting set, okay, the Everyday Arches. And it's so fun that these greetings are meant to go around the corner, okay, the arch of it. So we're going to go, you are simply fantastic. Now with this one, I did color again with Stampin Blends, and I die cut it. And then we're going to go ahead and use some dimensionals to pop this up here. I use quite a few because it's going to be a kind of an angle. So let's just stick these. I can never not have enough dimensionals on there. And we'll peel these off. All of these words come from the Everyday Arches stamp set. Now with this, because we're going this direction, what I want to do is fill as much of this as I can. So we're going to go at kind of an angle there. And then we can take our paper snips and let's grab that. And what I want to do here is we're going to just flip it over so we can see the edge of our card base. And we'll just trim off anything that's overhanging. Like so. So you are simply fantastic. And then same thing. I made a layer here for the inside. And I stamped just a couple of little flowers on there. Colored them super quick and easy with Stampin Blends. And then hello is the other sentiment, okay, along with the thanks. And this one we're going to put down. I was kind of careful when I stamped these to make sure that I would cover up the bottoms where they kind of crossed. But there's our second card. Okay, super cute, super easy, a nice little twist. Okay, let's move into our third design. Now this one, I think this is kind of what I envisioned with these dies at the very beginning when I got them. So I actually have 3 layers here. So you can see we're gonna start with soft sea foam, and then we're gonna put in a layer of basic white. Okay, so we'll stick that right there. And I just cut 3 different sizes, okay? So then we got the lemon lolly is gonna be kind of our background piece. And I took another one of those curved words, okay? You are loved. So you are loved. And it's just fun. It's different than, something we're used to. So for this one, I did the daisies. And I did, when I colored them, I wanted my daisies to be white, but you can see just on the very edge, I used my light balmy blue and just put a little bit on the edge of each of the petal. It just gives them some dimension that if I would have just left it plain white, wouldn't have quite so much dimension to it. So again, let's stick several of these. Again, this is going to have to be cut off at the bottom because it's going to hang over the bottom. So we'll do just like we did with the last one. We'll peel all of these off and stick them to me. Okay, so remember, this is card number 3. Okay, let's go ahead. We want to just get that to fit right in there between the words. And again, it's hanging over the edge. So we'll grab our paper snips. Now, there is a corresponding blog post for this video. The link is in the video description. And over there, I will have pictures of all 4 cards that I'm making for you today, along with all the measurements and the supplies. And I'll tell you the dimensions of the different size ovals or arches that I used for it. So, okay, now our next step, our card base here is just a little card. Okay, and you'll see why in a second. And this is our inside. So let's stick that right inside of there. And then we want this to ultimately be a full-size card. And so what I'm going to do is we'll move our grid paper a little bit. Okay, remember a full-size card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to stick this right down here. And it looks like when it's folded, it's 3 by 4 1/4. And then I'm going to adhere this hanging up over the top here, but I want to make sure that I stay underneath that 5 1/2 so that it'll fit in an envelope. So I'm going to hang or just hold it here and kind of like, okay, right below our words there. So, because you want to be careful to not put adhesive on that top part. So we'll stick our adhesive on. And then again, to line it up, we're going to line that up in the corner. We'll stick this on here, bring it up to our 5 1/2 mark. And then let's try to get it even on the left, even on the right, somewhat straight, and stick it on there. And there is our card. So it's kind of fun. You can see when it stands up, okay, it stands up that way. Cute card for on the mantle. We love those mantle cards, but I like how it's, the arches at the top. But then when we open it, we just have a little place here to write a message. So there is our third card. Let's move on to the fourth, my favorite. Now you can see why I did all the stamping and die cutting ahead of time for these projects, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do all 4 in a video, because I like to keep my videos short and to the point. So we once again have cut out a bunch of those arches. This is the largest size. Okay, the bottom one's the largest size. The white is the next step down. So we're going to make 3 panels here. So you are simply fantastic. And we've got the tulips. Okay, love my tulips. Y'all know that. And for this one again, we got to grab those dimensionals. Now I got to be a little careful because we're going to, well, no, I don't think we're going to cut off on the edge there. Okay. I didn't want to put a dimensional that's going to stick off the edge. So I think that should be good on that one. So let's peel these off. So what we're going to do is put together our 3 panels, and then I'm going to show you how to attach all of these into a trifold card. And it's going to be super cute. Just hang on. So let's kind of bring them off the edge a little bit. It's okay to come off just a little bit right there. And again, we're hanging off, so not very much. Let's just snip that so we got a nice even straight bottom. Okay, so there's our first one. Now the second one, again, these are the same sizes, the large and then 1 step down. So we'll go ahead and this one. So you are simply fantastic. And then our second panel says, know you are loved. And again, let's stick our flowers. And I have to tell you, all these flowers, I just sat one day and just colored. I love to color. I don't think I do it enough. But it was so relaxing. And so I actually started that way. I had these ideas in my head, just stamped a bunch of images and colored them and cut them out, and then thought, okay, now let's work through the rest of the ideas. So let's see, pull all these off. Man, we're using a lot of dimensionals here. And then let's see, is that one? Oh, we can keep that whole one in there. We don't even have to trim it off. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and then 3. Kind of a big blob there, but that's okay. It'll even out. And we'll stick that one on our soft seafoam. Now remember, check out that blog post because I'll have pictures and all the details here. So for this one, I really could have just probably stamped that one on my arch. But we're gonna, come on. We don't want a big blob on these little pieces. Time for me to get some new adhesive. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of stick that one up the side like so. And then we'll put our thanks on here. So, and then we're ready to put the final thing together, right? So again, let's cover up the bottom so it looks like our little branch is coming out from underneath there. Okay, there's our 3 panels. Now the next step is I have a piece that is 11 by, 2 inches. And I have scored in 3.5 from this side, 3.5 from that side, okay? And then we're gonna fold this like a Z, okay? See what we did there? Now, I'm gonna go ahead. I wanna make sure I have some really good folds in here and that they're straight, so let's do that. And now, here's the tricky part. So I got some tips for you to help you put this together. So our card is gonna fold up this way. And we're gonna have a panel on each one. So we're gonna start with this middle one. And I do wanna put it right down at the bottom because that'll give my card a little bit more stability. And it'll stand really nice because then we've got, you know, that thickness down there. So we have adhesive in the middle and we are going to just line that up along the bottom edge in between those 2 score lines. You got just a little bit of wiggle room there. Okay, so let's envision our card here. Now notice because of the size of this, because it's 11, but I really need 12 inches. When this card folds closed here, you can see how this piece right here is a little bit smaller. That's okay. I found the best way to put this together is we're going to put adhesive on that flap, okay, and then I always got to double check. Okay, that's the inside. This is going to be the front, which is, this is the one I want. So I'm going to close that and I can stick this on here and I'm going to just line it up with that arch underneath it. So they all just stack really nice. There we go. So now when we flip it over, you can see how that's a little short, but that's okay. But by doing it, you know, sticking them together with them folded, you know, everything's going to line up nice for when it closes. Now this one is going to go right here, but I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to back fold it just so I can line everything up. Again, put adhesive on our little flap. I got to turn it this way. And then we're going to stick this down. Make sure you are even down on that bottom. And I'm lining that arch up just like so. And again, you can see a little bit. So that's what the back of it looks like. And here's our front. So we'll let everything dry. And now, again, our card is the perfect mantle card. I mean, you could actually stand it bent this way. It's really meant to go that way. And I can write a little message there. Now, another option with this design, I mean, I could put more flowers there and just leave it like that. And then on the back side, here we'll pretend, we could actually stick another piece on there, you know, a white piece that covers up this. And that could be where I write my message so that the front is all just pretty. So there you go. We have 4 different cards using the Everyday Arches. Okay, they're fun fold cards. We use the mixed florals for all of these, but perfect for any stamps that you have. These dies are amazing. I actually have more ideas in my head for other ways to use these. I mean, obviously they can just be a layer on a card, right? This could be our card, and we could just cut a die and make a, you know, put a layer on there. But I thought it was more fun to either do shapes or fun folds. So I have more ideas. Stay tuned. I will be back again. Maybe next month we'll do part 2 of Everyday Arches, and I'll show you some other ideas with these. But it's a great die set. So again, check out the blog post. I'll have pictures, all the measurements and the details and colors and supplies I used over there. And I appreciate you watching. Share my video with your crafty friends, or if you haven't subscribed already, just hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when I have more videos. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Have a stamp happy day.